While Americans spend over $60 billion a year on gym memberships they never use, 78,000 Japanese people over 70 wake up every morning and do something that takes just 15 minutes but keeps them stronger than people half their age. Here's what's shocking. Japan has more people living past 100 than any other country, but they don't have a gym culture like we do. No fancy equipment, no monthly fees, no intimidating weight rooms. Instead, they have something we completely missed. Since 1928, Japanese communities have gathered every morning to practice 5 simple movements that require nothing but your body and 15 minutes of your day. Not complicated yoga poses, not high-intensity workouts, just gentle positions that work with your body's natural design instead of against it. Compare that to America, where our fitness industry promises everything but delivers independence that ends around 70. We've got more gyms per capita than anywhere in the world, yet we're weaker in our golden years than cultures that never set foot in a fitness center. The Japanese figured out something we're just starting to understand. Consistency beats intensity every single time. These aren't exercises. They're a return to how your body was meant to move. Before we dive in, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from and whether you've ever tried any traditional Japanese practices. I read every single comment and love connecting with viewers from around the world. Today, I'm breaking down these exact 5 movements that have kept entire generations strong, balanced, and pain-free well into their 80s and 90s. Let's start with the foundation that makes everything else possible. This traditional sitting position was used by samurai before battle because it does something to your spine that modern chairs are slowly destroying. It's called Seiza, S-E-I-Z-A, which literally translates to proper sitting or correct sitting. Here's what most people don't realize about posture after 50. It's not about pulling your shoulders back or sitting up straight. Real posture comes from the ground up, and Seiza activates muscles that have been asleep for decades. Seiza has roots dating back to the Muromachi period and became fundamental to Japanese culture. During tea ceremonies, formal meals, and moments of meditation, this position was practiced on traditional tatami floors. But here's what's fascinating. It wasn't just about etiquette. It was functional training disguised as cultural practice. Now, before you say you can't kneel on the floor, hear me out. This isn't about being perfect immediately. Kneel on the floor with your knees together, then fold your feet so the tops are flat on the ground with your toes pointing backward. Slowly lower your hips until you're sitting on your heels. Your spine should be naturally erect, not forced, but naturally tall. What makes Seiza so powerful is how it targets the exact problem that's destroying posture in the modern world. When you sit in chairs all day, your hip flexors get chronically tight. These muscles connect your thighs to your lower back, and when they're tight, they pull your pelvis forward and create that hunched-over posture we associate with aging. But Seiza does something remarkable. It deeply stretches those hip flexors while simultaneously activating your deep core muscles and spine stabilizers. Unlike sitting in a chair where your back muscles can relax and weaken, this position requires active engagement from your postural muscles. It's like a gentle strength training session for the muscles that keep you upright. Recent biomechanical studies show that Seiza activates the multifidus muscles along your spine, the same muscles that physical therapists target for chronic back pain. These tiny muscles control the precise movements between your vertebrae and are crucial for spinal stability. If Seiza feels intense on your knees, place a firm cushion between your heels and your hips to reduce the pressure. Start with just 30 seconds to 1 minute and gradually work up to 3 to 5 minutes. You can practice Seiza while watching television, reading, or even during meditation. The key is consistency, not duration. The most common mistake I see is people forcing the position and creating tension instead of allowing natural alignment. Your body will adapt gradually if you listen to its feedback rather than pushing through discomfort. Now that you've established this foundational posture, we're going to challenge something that becomes critical after 70 but starts declining in your 30s. Japanese martial artists discovered that spending just 2 minutes a day on one foot in this specific position eliminates the number one cause of injury after 70. This is renashi, which translates to balance training or foundation leg training. Here's a sobering reality. Every 11 seconds, an older adult is treated in an emergency room for a fall-related injury. But here's what's fascinating about Japanese elders. They have significantly lower fall rates than their Western counterparts, and it's not because of better genetics or different living environments. Renashi has its origins in traditional martial arts training during the Edo period. Samurai warriors practiced this position to develop what they called reactive balance, the ability to instantly adjust when the ground shifts beneath you or when an opponent tries to unbalance you. They understood something we're just rediscovering. Balance isn't static, it's dynamic. Stand with your feet hip-width apart. Now lift one foot slightly off the ground, just enough that you're balancing on the other leg. But here's the key difference from typical balance exercises. You're not trying to stand like a statue. Keep a soft bend in your standing knee and allow small, natural movements. Your body should feel alive, not rigid. What makes Renashi so effective is how it awakens your proprioceptive system, your body's internal GPS that tells you where you are in space. Modern life has put this system to sleep. We walk on flat surfaces, wear cushioned shoes, and rarely challenge our balance. But this position forces thousands of tiny stabilizing muscles to fire in coordination. Your ankle muscles, your deep hip stabilizers, and your core all have to work together to keep you upright. These are the exact muscles that prevent falls and give you confidence on uneven surfaces like curbs, stairs, or even just walking on grass. Start by holding Renashi for 20 to 30 seconds on each leg. If you feel unstable, practice next to a wall or sturdy chair for light support. The goal isn't to be perfect immediately. It's to challenge your balance system gradually, so it becomes stronger and more responsive. The most common mistake I see is people holding their breath or tensing their entire body. This actually makes balance harder. Breathe naturally and allow small movements. Your body is designed to make constant micro-adjustments, so fighting against this natural process works against you. Research from Japanese sports science institutes shows that just 8 weeks of daily balance training can improve stability by up to 40% in adults over 60. But the real benefit isn't measured in a lab. It's the confidence you feel walking down stairs or stepping off a curb. Once your balance foundation is solid, we're going to unlock the area of your body that holds the key to pain-free movement in every direction. What sumo wrestlers do for power, Japanese elders do for pain-free movement, and it all starts with positioning your feet in a way most people never try. This is Sumo Shiko, the wide stance that literally translates to four-legged stance, and it's about to unlock something in your hips that sitting has locked away for decades. Here's what nobody tells you about hip mobility after 50. It's not just about flexibility. When your hips get tight, they create a domino effect that travels up and down your entire body. Knee pain, lower back pain, even shoulder tension can all trace back to hips that have forgotten how to move. Sumo wrestling has been practiced in Japan for over 1,500 years, and this particular stance is where wrestlers develop the extraordinary power that allows them to move opponents twice their size. But here's what's fascinating. The same mechanics that generate explosive power also create therapeutic release for everyday people. Position your feet wide apart, approximately twice shoulder width, with your toes pointing outward at a 45-degree angle. Now slowly lower your hips as if you're going to sit between your legs. Keep your back straight, chest open, and your hands can rest on your thighs for support. But here's the key that most people miss. This isn't about how deep you can go. It's about finding the position where you feel a gentle stretch through your inner thighs and groin while maintaining perfect posture. Your body will tell you exactly where that sweet spot is. What makes shiko so powerful is how it activates muscle chains that modern life has put to sleep. This position intensely works your quadriceps, glutes, and inner thigh muscles, the exact muscles you need for getting out of chairs, climbing stairs, and maintaining balance during daily activities. Biomechanical studies reveal something remarkable about this stance. It activates more muscle fibers in your legs than conventional squats, while being gentler on your knees and lower back. The hip opening you get from this position is crucial, because tight hips pull your pelvis out of alignment and force other joints to compensate. As you get stronger, work up to holding this for 1 to 2 minutes. Professional sumo wrestlers can maintain shiko for 15 to 20 minutes, but we're not training for the ring. We're training for life. Now that your hips are opening up, we're going to build the type of strength that keeps you independent for decades to come. This ancient warrior training position builds the exact type of strength that keeps Japanese elders climbing stairs and carrying groceries well into their 80s. It's called Kibadachi, which translates to horse riding stance, and it's about to change how you think about what real strength actually means. Here's the problem with most strength training. It focuses on how much weight you can lift for 10 repetitions. But life doesn't work that way. Real life requires you to hold your body weight while you tie your shoes, carry a heavy bag upstairs, or stand from a low chair without using your hands. That's endurance strength, and it's completely different from gym strength. Kibadachi has ancient origins in Japanese martial arts, particularly in karate training during the feudal period. Samurai used this position to develop the type of leg strength and mental discipline needed for long battles where stability and endurance were more important than explosive power. The name comes from the similarity to the posture you'd adopt when riding a horse. Position your feet parallel and wide apart, approximately shoulder width plus another foot wider. Bend your knees and lower your hips, as if you're sitting in an invisible chair. Your feet should be pointing straight forward, fully supported on the floor. Keep your back straight, core engaged, and arms relaxed at your sides. Now here's where it gets interesting. This isn't about how low you can go. It's about finding the position where your thighs are roughly parallel to the floor and you can breathe naturally while maintaining perfect form. Think of it as sitting in a chair that's exactly the right height for your body. What makes Kibadachi so effective is how it targets the slow-twitch muscle fibers in your legs. These are the fibers responsible for endurance and stability, the ones that keep you strong during prolonged activities. Most exercise routines completely ignore these fibers, focusing instead on fast-twitch fibers that provide quick bursts of power. This position intensely works your quadriceps, glutes, and the deep stabilizers around your hips and core. But more importantly, it teaches these muscles to work together as a coordinated system. In daily life, you never use just one muscle at a time. You use chains of muscles working in harmony. Biomechanical research shows that Kibadachi develops what scientists call lateral stability, your ability to resist forces coming from the side. This is crucial for activities like stepping off curbs, walking on uneven surfaces, or simply maintaining your balance when someone accidentally bumps into you. Start with Kibadachi for 20 to 30 seconds, performing 2 to 3 sets with rest intervals. As your endurance increases, work up to 1 to 2 minutes per set. Japanese martial arts masters often maintain this posture for 5 minutes or more, but they've been training for decades. If balance is a concern, practice near a wall for support. Focus on keeping your weight evenly distributed between both feet and avoid letting your knees collapse inward. The most common mistake is rushing to get deeper instead of building strength at a sustainable level first. The beauty of Kibadachi is that it's completely scalable. Adjust the depth based on your current strength level and gradually progress as your muscles adapt and grow stronger. Now that you've built strength, balance, mobility, and posture, Let me show you how to weave all 4 movements into a simple routine that fits seamlessly into your real life. Here's how to combine all 4 moves into a simple routine that Japanese communities have been doing together every morning since 1928. This is the 15-minute morning ritual that changes everything, and it's based on a national program that reaches over 27 million people across Japan every single day. Here's what most people don't know about the Japanese approach to exercise. They never separated movement from daily life. While we created this artificial divide between workout time and regular time, the Japanese integrated gentle movement into the natural rhythm of their day. This isn't about finding time to exercise. It's about making movement part of how you start and end each day. The original program began with NHK radio broadcasts in 1928, designed to improve the health of the entire population. Families would gather in parks, workplaces would pause for group sessions, and schools would start each day with these movements. It wasn't fitness, it was community wellness, disguised as morning routine. Let me give you 2 simple sequences that take just 15 minutes total and fit perfectly into the bookends of your day. When you first wake up, your body is stiff from sleeping and needs gentle activation. Start your morning with this 3-movement flow that takes just 4 minutes. Begin with 1 minute of Seiza to wake up your postural muscles and stretch those tight hip flexors that have been shortened all night. Your spine will naturally lengthen, and your core will gently activate without any forced effort. Move directly into 1 minute of renashi, alternating 30 seconds on each leg to challenge your balance system and activate those stabilizing muscles that keep you steady throughout the day. Finish with 2 minutes of Sumo shiko, allowing your hips to gradually open and your leg muscles to warm up. This sequence creates a foundation of stability, mobility, and alertness that will completely change how your body feels for the rest of the day. In the evening, focus on releasing tension and building endurance. Strength with this 2-movement routine that takes just 3 minutes. Start with 2 minutes of Kibadachi, broken into 4 30-second holds with brief rest periods between. This builds that deep leg strength and mental discipline while releasing the stress your body has accumulated during the day. End with 1 minute of Seiza as a meditation and postural reset. This helps you transition from the active part of your day into evening relaxation while maintaining that spinal alignment you've been building all day. Here's the progression strategy that makes this sustainable without overwhelming your body. Week 1 and 2 are your foundation phase. Focus on learning the positions correctly rather than holding them for maximum time. Your body needs time to adapt to these new movement patterns, and rushing this process leads to frustration rather than progress. In weeks 3 and 4, start adding duration. Increase your holds by 15 to 30 seconds each week. Remember, your goal isn't to match what martial artists can do. It's to be stronger than you were last week. The Japanese concept of kaizen, continuous small improvements, applies perfectly here. Month 2 and beyond is where the magic happens. You can start combining movements, adding gentle transitions between positions, or even practicing them outdoors like traditional Japanese communities do. These 4 movements aren't just exercises. They're your daily investment in aging on your own terms. But there's one final element that ties everything together and gives you a way to measure your progress over time. The difference between those who age with strength and those who decline isn't genetics or luck. It's the decision to start today rather than tomorrow. Remember those 78,000 Japanese people over 70 we talked about? They're not superhuman. They just never stopped moving in ways that support their body's natural design. These 5 movements aren't just exercises. They're a return to how your body was meant to function. No gym membership required, no equipment needed, no risk of injury. Just 15 minutes that can transform how you feel for the remaining decades of your life. The Japanese proved something remarkable. You don't need to choose between aging gracefully and aging powerfully. You can have both. While we've been convinced that decline after 70 is inevitable, entire communities in Japan have been proving otherwise for nearly a century. Your journey starts with a single day. Tomorrow morning, try just one of these movements for 30 seconds. Feel what it's like to challenge your body gently, to work with it instead of against it. Notice how different this feels from the high-intensity, no pain, no gain mentality we've been sold. Here's my challenge for you. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 movements you're going to try first and what you hope to achieve in the next 30 days. I read every single comment and will personally respond with specific advice for your situation. If this opened your eyes to a different way of thinking about strength and aging, hit that subscribe button. We've got more Japanese longevity secrets coming that will completely change how you approach staying healthy after 50. The choice is yours. Age on your terms, or let time choose for you.